Hey ladies, today we're talking about chapters 23 and 24 in The Power of a Praying Wife. And I love it when my friends get to come hang out with me and do a little video with me. So today I have Renee Thomas, who has been my friend for a very long time. She's a wife and she's a mom of two basketball loving boys. Yep. Plus she is a member of Gateway Church and serves in the choir there and as a small group leader. And just so you know, she happens to throw the best Christmas parties. It's just like food everywhere. So anyway, I'm really excited to have her with me today.
Aw, thank you for having me, Anu.
Of course. So today, again, we're starting off with chapter 23, which is his walk. And it dawned on me as I was reading the chapter how often the Bible actually refers to our walk. I don't think that really hit me until now. So Stormy provided several verses about this, including one from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 through 2. I therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. So even from this, we see that our walk isn't just about our swag. It's not about like where we choose to go, even though that is a part of it. So here's a little Greek lesson for you. The word walk in that verse is translated as peripateo. And what that means, it means a couple of things actually. First of all, it's how I conduct my life. And secondly, the description it gives is comprehensively around. And what that means is it's basically a picture of looking at our lives from every angle and how we're living our life as a whole. So our walk isn't just about what we do on Sundays during service. I think it's more about what we do when we step out of the church and then somebody with a fish bumper sticker decides to cut us off, because people with fish bumper stickers will do that too. It's also about what we do on Mondays at work and then Friday nights when we're watching TV. It's about all of that, the comprehensively around. So Stormy explains that our husband's walk should be characterized by these things: moral correctness, without fault, with godly advisors and people of wisdom, in obedience, integrity, and holiness. So here's the cool thing. When our husbands end up taking the path that they're supposed to, the path that God has for them, then that sets the family on the right path. But in addition to that, the people around him are also going to be influenced by the direction that he chooses to take. And Renee, I think you shared with me a really great example of that. Could you go ahead and share that with us?
Yeah, basically, when God says that he desires to direct our paths, we really have to give him the opportunity.
Right.
So my husband was recently approached, along with some other people, to make an investment, and it seemed like a great opportunity. It was almost a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. And he took it to the Lord in prayer, and the Lord basically stopped him, and he did not feel that the Lord was telling him to move forward with this. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a peace about it at all. Mm-hmm. And he then approached everyone else, and he said that he was out. He was not going to go forward with this opportunity. Mm-hmm. And because he hesitated, and everyone knows that he's a strong Christian, and they basically also decided not to move forward. Mm-hmm. Fast forward several months, regulations changed, and they would have stood to lose a lot of money, and the opportunity would not, it ended up to be not as great as what they initially thought. Wow. So the Lord really protected my husband, protected those around him as well, and I'm just so thankful that he was diligent and took it to the Lord in prayer.
Definitely. I love that example. I think that's so great. In Psalms 25, it says, "Make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. My eyes are ever toward the Lord. He will pluck my feet out of the net." And I love that last line, because sometimes no matter how hard we try to stay on the right path, there are going to be times that we might step off of that. But we serve such a gracious God who is willing just to get us right back on track. We can always count on that. So the title of chapter 24 is His Talk. So Renee, I was wondering what kind of resonated with you as you were reading the chapter?
Well, I love how Stormy reminds us how powerful our words are. Yes. And the fact that the Bible says the power of life and death is in the tongue. Mm-hmm. My husband and I have really been trying to remember that. Yeah. Once you say something, you can't take it back.
Right.
And we really have to guard ourselves from being negative, from complaining, and really watching what we say. And Stormy just, really emphasizes that there's so much power in what we say.
Yes, and that is so true. And I know for me, even just starting this new year, I've been really convicted about my words. And just like Renee said, oftentimes we use the term sharing, and it's really Christian cover up for complaining and for criticism. And here's the thing, the person I often did that with the most was Lance. And so what that did was, as I was sharing, it really just reinforced that negative mindset that I had. But then plus also it had the potential to plant seeds in him. And I know I didn't want to do that. So Stormy says this: everyone has a choice about what he or she says, and there are rewards for making the right one. And the Bible supports the statement. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from trouble. And that's from Proverbs 21, verses 23. And that's a huge promise if you think about, again, the power of our words, like Renee said. She makes another point in regards to our husbands, but it really can apply to both of us. Listen to the way your husband talks. What comes out of his mouth has to do with the condition of his heart. And again, talk about a convicting statement, because there will be times that those things will happen and we'll say something, we'll be like, wow, where did that come from? Unfortunately, it came from right here. And it's such a humbling reminder for me when that happens to me, that God just purify my heart. There's so much in there that just needs to be cleaned, and just please do that. So Renee, I know with Shibby's profession, he's an orthopedic surgeon. Mm-hmm. I think stressful situations are probably just a daily part of what he does. Yeah. And you shared again another great example of how he will respond that really sets him apart from other people. Can you share that with everyone?
Sure. Well, in the hospital, everyone knows that Shibby's a Christian. He wears a cross around his neck, and he doesn't take that lightly. Mm-hmm. And of course, in everyday situations, a lot of things go wrong. And other physicians have actually been known to throw things, yell, curse, you name it. And when things go wrong for my husband, he's actually been known to sigh. So the joke around the hospital is, if Dr. Thomas sighs, you know that something is wrong. Yeah. You know it's bad. Yeah. And they'll ask him, they'll say, Dr. Thomas, why is it that you don't curse, that you don't yell like everyone else? Mm-hmm. Why is your reaction so different? Yeah. And he points to his cross and he says, at the end of the day, I have to answer to Jesus for every word that I speak, for every action, every deed, and I don't take that lightly. It means something to me. And I think, he's a great example of walking the walk and talking the talk. There you go. He doesn't change who he is, where, if he's in a different situation. Right. Who he is on Sunday is who he is during the week. And I love that, and with that example specifically, because our talk is so much about the wisdom in what we choose to say, but also it's about what we choose not to say. And I think Shibby provided a great example of that. So I just want to end off, ladies, with a prayer that Stormy shared. And she says, God, fill him with your love so that out of the overflow of his heart will come words that build up and not tear down. Work that in my heart as well. So I want to thank you again, Renee, for being here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And then, ladies, next week we are going to talk about chapters 25 and 26. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you.